just reduced to nothing in an instant. I kind of got blindsided by the Malian army there, but so I lose all my infantry, most of my infantry. But look at that! That huge hit from the nest of bees. Look at this destruction. Good morning, students, and welcome to another cast of Age of Empires 4. Today, I'm going to show you the best game of Age of Empires I've ever played. And when I say best, I mean the most fun, the most explosive fun match I've ever played. I'm playing as the Chinese, and I'm playing against two hard AIs that are both on the same team, Team 2. In the northern corner here, we have the Malians, the African faction of Age of Empires 4, building some beautiful little huts. I've actually turned up the graphics in this episode. I realized last night they were quite low, so there might be some frame rate issues, but we'll deal with that as we go. In the southwestern corner, we have, who is this? The Japanese, I believe. Yes, the Japanese. And they're quite a formidable faction with quite beautiful buildings and architecture. I'm playing the Chinese, which is one of the most difficult factions to play in Age of Empires 4. It's a 3-star difficulty faction, similar to the Mongols. There is a major difference though, and they're almost opposites, because where the Mongols are completely unable to build walls, the Chinese, on the other hand, are excellent wall builders. And in fact, their late game strategy revolves around a specific wall that you may be familiar with, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Most of my knowledge of Chinese and Mongol history comes from the Disney movie Mulan, and hopefully that's a hint for you. But yes, they're very good wall builders and very good defensive players in general. I don't think defense is one of their things. Dynasties, gunpowder, and taxes. So I think just the fact that dynasties are the one of their main themes makes them a defensive civ by default, because you need to have good defenses in order to build up the resources and build the buildings required to enter those dynasties. So there are 3 dynasties, one for each age, and it basically just involves building both of the landmarks for each age. And there's all kinds of bonuses for each dynasty you can see here. I tend to ignore those because you're probably going to be going for the dynasties anyway. I don't think I've ever won a game as Chinese without going for all of the dynasties. You also get these imperial officials which collect taxes and supervise buildings. So I tend to believe they're female. No, they're male. They've got beards. Okay, they just look like they're wearing Western dresses, but it's like a kimono or something. I may be saying completely offensive things, but anyway, I don't mean it. Yeah, so he was supervising this building over here, and then once it got to 50 taxes, because the taxes collect for each building in the form of gold, when it gets to 50, I tell them to collect the taxes. You can have up to 4 imperial officials. The first 3 should be used to supervise buildings. You can supervise collection, resource collection, and production buildings to accelerate how fast the troops are being produced, which it's a huge boost. I tested it properly in this game, and that the production boost that you get from the imperial officials is not to be sneezed at. So I'm building a Barbican of the Sun out in front because it's a defensive structure and it acts as a keep. and that'll come in very handy. The Malians, what is this? Oh, they're building a quarry over here to collect gold, and you're gonna see them build these pit mines all over the map to automatically collect gold, similar to how the Mongols collect stone automatically from these stone outcroppings. And what did I tell you about the beauty of the Japanese? I mean, look at, I don't know, there's something about these surrounding areas around the buildings that just looks great. Or maybe it's just because I put the graphics up. But they do have very beautiful architecture and also very beautiful units too. Not that the Chinese don't. The Chinese, similar to how the Mongols don't need houses, the Chinese don't need houses because they can build these villages, up to 3 villages, and then after that you are required to build individual houses. But these little villages with the strange sculptures of chickens in the buildings, I must say, these chickens should be animated. It's not a big deal to animate these chickens, you know? Like they just kind of like stuffed taxidermic chickens in the middle of the town center. What they should have is people walking around these buildings, like just fake people that aren't actually villagers, but they just look like they're like women and children. And oh no, well that I guess that wouldn't really work out for the war theme, but just maybe some just people, you know, like similar to how Black and White did it. I keep going on about Black and White in these videos. I'll try to keep that. So just like I said, they're building pit mines all over the map, and that's very advantageous for them because they're going to be automatically collecting gold from 2 sources. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. So this guy here, he's from the Japanese. He's a shinobi spy, which comes from this township over here, Koka Township. Can produce shinobi espionage units which specialize in scouting and sabotage. I need to really be on my game when it comes to casting this because there's so much going on. So he snuck in past my fence with a smoke bomb and set my lumber camp on fire. I don't know why he chose to set the lumber camp and not something a little bit more important. Maybe it's because it's the closest collection building. But yeah, that was just a little attack at the beginning. So my fence is finished here. Got my Barbican of the Sun to defend. Building an archery range just to add defenders to the outside of the wall here. When you say a civ is defensive, it means that you're not investing a lot of money into military units at the beginning of the game, and you're instead focusing on turtling up and booming your economy so that you can come back later in the end game. So what we've got, they've got archery ranges and a barracks and a blacksmith. So it seems as if they're going more aggressive. Over here we've got a similar story with a barracks and a stable instead. And they also wear kimonos, but that actually is a woman, I think. Oh, so here we've got a Onaga Bugisha. Oh, okay, Ona Bugisha. The Japanese seem to have a lot of unique units, which seems kind of unfair to the other civs. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of special Chinese units in history that could have been represented, and there's so many more in the Japanese faction. Like, look here, they've got the samurai, they've got the Ona Bugisha, they've got the mounted samurai, and then in the archery range, I think they have a bunch of unique units as well. Yeah, Anamusha, Yumi, that's way too many unique units for one faction, in my opinion. My layman's opinion. So here I build a market just to balance my economy, which has a tendency to get unbalanced quite fast. Just because look how many I have on food. I've got so much more food than wood or gold, so I can just balance my economy out at the market there. I'm building an imperial academy to go up to the next dynasty. I can't ever remember the names of the dynasties. So the first one is the Song dynasty. And that's going to unlock, I know it more in terms of its function. So it unlocks the granary. And that's this building here that's grayed out. And that's going to give me a big boost to farming. The Chinese have a lot of unique buildings, such as the pagoda, the village, the granary, and then all of their extra landmarks, which are not usually represented in this menu here for the other civs. Here are my archers coming out to defend my walls, and I haven't seen any attacking troops yet, but I think we're going to see some shortly. Let's speed up time a little bit. I thought I saw some coming. So they're building up a huge force here of these Onab Geisha. They've got these massive pole arms with a huge blade on the end of it. It just looks super stylish and extremely Japanese. Oh, what happened here? It's like somebody died. They must have... Oh, that was my scout. I see. He was wearing the telltale teal color sash. So here's the first attacking force coming to attack my walls. I should have no problem dealing with them. I'm building a granary at the back here, and that acts as a large mill, basically, and it gives 10% farming rate. Okay, so here's the force ready to attack my walls. They're just gonna try torch down my gate. My reaction time is not great, but here come the archers to just pick them off. And also the Barbican of the Sun is already doing its job. Ready to age up to castle age here. I don't really know what their plan was. They just wanted to damage my gate, I suppose. And they do a good job of that, but they all died, so that's kind of pointless at the end of the day. So Malians have built a stable at the top here, and they're sending in a second force. So I suppose the plan was to knock down the gate and then send the second force through, but I'm already rebuilding that gate. I'm already repairing it. The Imperial Palace is my castle age landmark. It's a spy landmark that allows me to see the location of enemy villages on the map. For free? Yes, for free, every 15 seconds. Oh, no. I don't think it takes 15 seconds to recharge. I think it's more like a couple minutes to recharge, but that's a free ability that allows you to spy on your enemy's economy, which is fantastic for raids. Unfortunately, I didn't make great use of it in this match, but we'll see how it turns out. The second spy has snuck through, and I wish I had captured that on camera, because I did watch this replay before, and it was a very cool moment where he smoke bombed past the... he disguises himself as a villager, he smoke bombs himself past here, and he goes hangs out by my lumber villages for a while. And then he comes and he sets my archery range on fire. Such a little sneaky bastard. So Future Tom here, bringing you this epic gaming moment. So this is the moment that we missed. Here's a shinobi spy, very sneakily disguised in my teal uniform as one of my villagers. Look at this. He uses a smoke bomb to sneak past my burning gate in the midst of all that chaos. I completely don't notice it. Just a villager just coming from nowhere, you know. He comes and he sneaks past my Imperial official at the back here, and then he goes and stands. He goes and stands by the wood line. Okay, and then he just kind of stands there for a good minute or so, just doing nothing, just an idle villager, just minding his own business. And then he comes and he sets my archery range on fire, and then he starts attacking my villagers with a knife. Oh, and he gets shot right before murdering him. It's a ridiculous way to live your life, dude. What are you doing? Anyway, back to the present day, present time. And I suppose that's quite an effective move because it just delays my military production for a while. Not that it wasn't delayed already, because I'm housed currently. I need to build houses. Let me speed it up. I don't know why I slowed it down so much. Yeah, so there's a lot of little moments in this game that I wish I had captured that moment with the Shinobi Spy. Maybe I'll record another one and then just put it in. It's probably at about 10 minutes. So these archers would have been much better used if they were attacking my troops rather than the wall or whatever it is that they're attacking. And that's one thing that the AI doesn't do well on teams. It doesn't work, because there's so many moments in this match where they could have taken me out had they just worked together a little bit better. So they managed to destroy my gate here, and they come for my archers, but I garrison them inside the Barbican of the Sun. Quickly. One guy doesn't manage to get in and he dies. But they're all garrisoned here and they're dying off, so they could have attacked my Imperial official and whatnot, but instead they chose to run away, and that doesn't work out for these two because they both die. I think it would have been better for him if he had just ran in here, just started attacking my... Because I only have these dudes in the palace here. But I suppose that was a losing situation for them either way. Could have just taken out a little bit of my eco. I mean, that was the point of the attack in the first place. What they really got out of that attack is a gate, and that's it. A gate and one crossbowman. One or two. Musafadi warriors. So these are a unique unit to the Malians. They're just coming to scout, seems like. So I'm running out of resources in my base here. I've depleted the stone. This gold is going to be depleted very soon. Building a tower at the frontier just to help with the defenses. Got an extra archery range here, extra barracks, 2 extra barracks, so they're going super aggressive. And they've still got this pit mine out in front. Doesn't actually show up on the map as one of their buildings, which is odd. So the Japanese are sending a force with a siege engine, a ram, to come knock down my walls. And in the meantime, I've hatched a plan here. So I'm sending my villagers to capture some resources here. Little do I know that they've got a force of Musafadi warriors coming to attack my villages. So there's this battle going on here, but in the meantime they're killing the boar. That's odd. And that boar just disappeared. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, but they're killing my villagers. Oh, they let these ones live. I think I must have assumed that they were just dead from that previous interaction because I didn't move them further, but they got them in the end, and now they're coming for my other villager as well as my town center, which I decide to cancel, because if you cancel it, you get your resources back, but if you let them destroy it, then you lose those resources. So I just cancel it, and I sent this force to come attack the attackers. I should have really had a force out there with my villagers to begin with, and then I wouldn't have lost them. But it's not such a big deal because I have plenty of villagers, and I send some of my wood villagers to come and finish building this wall and finish the rest of the town center here. So that first ram got destroyed. So they decided to send another ram, now with an even smaller defense force. Oh, no, that's the same ram, so they must have sent it back, and then they've got some troops hiding inside. The hardened samurai. I believe these units are quite strong, although I haven't really made use of them myself. So they've got lots of armor versus both ranged and melee. So this castle's going up, and there's quite an intense battle here. They're taking out my palace guards, but my archers are kiting their forces, which is a term that's commonly used in the Age of Empires community to mean running away and firing repeatedly. And I managed that, not great, but I lose a few archers, but in the end I think I've won the battle because I've lured them back into the range of my Barbican and some of my other archers here. And it's a great distraction because they could have focused my villagers here, taken down my wall, and ignored my troops. But instead, they all died. And here's another force to do just that, but it's too late because this castle is going to go up in a second. They should really be attacking me with both these forces. Got some palace guards here, some regular palace guards, and some veteran Zugunu. I held off building the Zugunu until the end. I started off with archers, and then I moved to crossbowmen, and now I'm on Zugunu. I think a mixture of Zugunu and crossbowmen. There's that town center going up at the back. And these guys just love killing boars. There must be something about the Japanese that makes them want to kill boars, or maybe they just don't like boars, I don't know. So, Japanese town looking quite spiffy. So these farmhouses are houses and mills mixed together. So they can drop off resources there and live in them. Quite a big battle here for the sacred site, just in range of my new keep. And I chased them back. Now, I made a bit of a mistake here, because I should have just attacked this building straight away. But instead I ignored it. I think I was too focused on building up my economy and my buildings, such as this monastery here, the new stable. The reason that I'm building the stable, this is something I should have mentioned from the beginning. So China is a big gunpowder faction. Just like in history, they have access to gunpowder earlier than any other civilization. And the way that takes form in the game is in the form of the Fire Lancer, which is only available to you once you enter into the Yuan dynasty. And the Fire Lancers are from history. They basically carry a fire lance, which is a long stick with a firework attached to it, a one-shot firework. And they would be primarily used for shock value, but they would also emit, hot sparks and flames and stuff, so they would do damage. But then later they started adding pellets and things to the fireworks, and that those were basically the first forms of bullets and guns. So this fire lancer from the Chinese faction is an example of the first a prototypical gunner or gunman. And how it's used in the game is sort of like a knight that has an area of effect charge. And you can see that in a great the Age of Noob on YouTube. He's got a great video about the fire lancers, and he does some tests to show you exactly how good that area of effect charges. But there's plenty of examples in this game, so you'll see how it goes. The other units are the hand cannoneer, which is actually the first gun. A hand cannon. It is just a more advanced version of the fire lance. But this is something that pretty much all of the factions in the game, with some exceptions, have access to. And the Chinese have access to it without having to upgrade any technologies. So most factions have to research the chemistry technology before they have access to this hand cannoneer. Chinese have that by default from the beginning of the game. So all of the gunpowder units are accessible from the beginning of the game. It's very, very exciting because they also have a unique unit called the Clockwork Tower Nest of Bees, or just the Nest of Bees, which is an incredible... Here's one over here. This is going to be great. So this force comes to attack the force in the north, not knowing that there's a huge force coming to them from the south, ready to blow the crap out of them. So here's the first shot from the Nest of Bees. You can see those fireworks in action there. So this isn't really going in a historical order because I think in history, actually I'm not sure about this, but I think that the fire lance would have come first. They wouldn't have had it on a mounted unit straight away though. They would have had it in just carried it on foot, and then used it on horseback later. But in Age of Empires, it's only on horseback. There's no infantry unit that has a fire lance. So now I'm just holding them back with the fire. You can see how much damage that does to a group of people. I mean, I've reduced that platoon to like half its health with one shot there. So all you really need is a few infantry units at the front just to hold them back, and then these Nest of Bees at the back to just bombard them. Okay, how do I get out of cinematic mode? There we go. They've got most of the map control. They're harvesting resources from all over the place. And that mistake of ignoring this pit mine was quite bad, because this is free resources for them. If I had just taken out this pit mine, I could deny them so much gold. And after that, then I could start harvesting that gold for myself. Instead, I'm harvesting this gold at the back. And then later in the game, I completely ignore this, and then I go for this gold at the front here. It's very, very silly. But anyway, I'm telling you things that are going to happen later. You can see here this troop has been reduced to basically half health. You can see the frame rate sort of drop over here. I think I need to reduce the graphics a little bit more, but this village is looking really great. Really, really good. It just looks Malian, you know? Also love the roads around this section of my town. These stone roads and this little garden here. I mean, they didn't have to do that, but they did, and it looks great. How it transitions to the university, or the temple rather, monastery. Oh, so here are the fire lancers coming out to do some raiding. You can hear those explosions there, and just the destructive force of those explosions. I believe it takes about 10 seconds to recharge the fire lance. before they can explode again. So not too much damage, but in a large group they do a lot more damage one shot. But the main thing is that it's distributed over a big area. So when a knight charges, I believe they only hit one unit at a time. And then once the charge has exploded, they just attack with the head of the spear, just like a regular horseman. Now here's a huge army from the Malians coming to attack. A huge or a medium force from the Japanese as well. I have my fire lancers, I have my nest of bees, I have my crossbowmen and my palace guards and my Zugunu. And just look at that, just reduced to nothing in an instant. I kind of got blindsided by the Malian army there, but so I lose all my infantry, most of my infantry. But look at that! That huge hit from the nest of bees. Look at this destruction! Holy moly! And the ground is even scorched from the fireworks, and they have no option but to retreat with their rams and their decimated army. That was just so unfortunate for them. And here they come again for seconds. They didn't learn their lesson the first time. Not sure where that healing blast is coming from exactly. Got no idea who is healing them, but that's great for me anyway. So now it's just a matter of holding this position and just building up my troops while just decimating theirs, and in that way just dwindling down their economy and their resources while mine just build up and build up and build up. This Imperial official is supervising the stable here just to speed up the upgrades of the elite fire lancers and to produce units faster. These guys should be raiding right now, they shouldn't just be standing around. I mean, there's a great opportunity right here. So here comes the wall that I foretold at the beginning of the video. You might even say it's a great wall. The Chinese are excellent wall builders, and here you can see them building this wall super fast across the entire map and just attacking their villages here. I think there was a big hit that I missed there. Only one body on the ground, so probably not. Getting a little bit excited, the camera's flicking and flacking all over the show. So before I could build this Great Wall Gatehouse, which is a landmark unique to the Chinese, I had to have a section of wall. You can't just build it on nothing. You have to have an existing wall before you can build it, or maybe just a blueprint of a wall. But this gatehouse acts as a gate and a defensive structure which has a nest of bees emplacement. So one of these babies inside of here, I think more than one. You can see the fire lancers there acting very similar to the nest of bees and just whittling down the troops to about half health, all at the front there. And they're just getting very worried about this defensive structure in the middle of the map, and they're just doing their best to stop it from going up, but it's too late. It's up and it's built, and you're going to see it in action right now. There you go, it can fire at any angle, so it's firing at the troops to the side of it. And these fire lancers just doing a fantastic job of defending the front line there. they've got their rams in to attack the landmark, and I'm a little bit late defending there, but they don't manage to get it. They've also got this trebuchet at the back, which is very, very scary. And these rams go down just to some palace guards, not much to them. And that's a mistake. These fire lancers should be running away. So now I've got this wall with this little patch of trees. I mean, Age of Empires logic, they can't sneak past. These trees are solid as rocks. Yeah, I wanted to build the wall across the map, but these trees blocked it. So, yeah, in Age of Empires, forests like these, although obviously easily transversable in real life, they act as just solid walls. It would be great for one of those like YouTube comedy videos about video game logic. Like, hey, why don't we just go through the forest? It's impossible! The trees, they are too entangled. I don't know, something like that. So here's all my army and my idle villagers here have just finished this little extra gatehouse on the Malian side, and I realized that now is my opportunity to attack. Where did that healing blast come from? I've got no idea. Someone please tell me in the comments. My army is just looking awesome. Just the nest of bees in front of the nest of bees emplacement. These fire lancers are excellent at destroying buildings. You can see how fast this tower goes down when the fire lancers are attacking it. It's something I didn't really make use of much in this game. But I think they have extra damage against buildings. 35 torch damage, which is the damage against buildings. So this trebuchet at the back here has pivoted from attacking my gatehouse to attacking this little corner section of wall, and I notice it and I take him out with my fire lancers, one shot him, it seems. I've sent my villagers to mine this gold, completely ignoring this huge, full gold vein at the back of my base. So they're sending out a huge army here to end me once and for all. The Japanese are nowhere to be seen. They don't have an army other than this one trebuchet here. But the goal of mine is to simply take the second sacred site. And just to secure some land in front of my base. This huge army here is, I don't know, stuck between going for my gatehouse and my army, but they make a huge mistake because they get stuck in between and they get hit by the gatehouse, literally reducing this massive army to half its health in one shot, and then my army attacks and they just do not have any hope in hell. How many? That was like 50 soldiers, all reduced to basically the value of 25 soldiers with one shot from my wall, my Great Wall Gatehouse there. So I've got no troops on the front line except this one nest of bees, which gets destroyed. But that was just an amazing moment in the battle, and I believe that is the last time that they even think about contesting me, because that's just one army just flushed down the drain. You can see the fire lancers explosion in action there, and they're attacking me with what seems like some kind of special cannon or something, but It's almost like a firework, but it's different from the nest of bees. It's like a singular nest of bees firework, and they managed to actually take out pretty much all of my fire lancers with that, because they have the castle here, two castles, one of them a landmark, and the what is this? Oh, this is also a castle. I believe this is a town center that is just called a castle. The Shogunate Castle and the Castle of the Crow. I need to play Japanese more. Maybe that'll be my next cast. It did take me a few games against the harder AI to develop this strategy and to not make many mistakes. But I've started producing cannons here, and just started taking out these castles one at a time. At this point in the game, it's pretty much a done deal. I've won. They've still got some troops to contest, but it's really hopeless because I just have the economic lead and the military lead. So they sent out about 4 monks there, which to me is too much for a force that small. I would say for a force the size, you just need like 1 monk, really. Because they're expensive and they don't do much. They've been significantly nerfed from Age of Empires 2, because in Age of Empires 2 you could just convert units, but in Age of Empires 4 you need to be carrying a relic in order to convert units. Although you do convert way more in this one, it's still much more rare. A lot of idle villages here. And those 3 castles are completely gone. So that threat has been dealt with, and now these cannons are just picking off their troops as they run out of their base. Wow, so here's another huge army from the Malians. Their rams just absorbing some of that damage. I do appreciate that this landmark knows who to target. It doesn't just target the rams, it'll target the weaker units. But it takes me a while to notice this force. They go for my mining camp first, which seems a bit silly, considering that this can just take them out in one shot. There's another advantage that this gives. It gives 25 range damage to units on the walls, which is something that I didn't really take advantage of in this game until this point, but it was a little bit too late. What I should have done is just had my archery rangers rallying to the walls. But I bring my army back from the sacred sites just to clean up the Malian threat here. Now see, those armies that they send out would have been effective had they coordinated and sent them at the same time, and maybe had the Malians attack this corner and have the Japanese attack this corner at the same time, far out of range of this Great Wall. I think they may have had a shot. And then I could have built some emplacements here, and then it would have been a real fight. And they've got this sneaky cannon just firing away at my knights. I believe this is a knight. Oh, fire lancer, never mind. My fire lancers. Fire lancers are actually squishier than the other cavalry units, even though they're more expensive. And I suppose that's just to compensate for their devastating area of effect attack. The sounds are very good in this game. Like, you could hear the sound of that firework. It sounded kind of muffled, as if it was at a distance, because it was at a distance. Shinto priest. Okay, so I think we can pretty much speed up the game now, because I've got the sacred sites and they're not really contested, so it's pretty much the end of the game. But I think that this match really exemplifies the difference between this video and the previous video exemplified the difference between the Mongols and the Chinese, and how the Mongols, they barely need to build at all, and they're all about just moving around the map, where the Chinese are very much a building civilization. They have bonuses to the building speeds of pretty much all their buildings, I believe. And then along with this great wall house, it pairs really well with a defensive playstyle. So my villagers are still walking around the map looking for gold, even though there's this huge gold vein right in my base, right behind the walls of my base. So there's not really much to say here at the end. Just gonna let it play out, because the game is over now. But this has to be my favorite Age of Empires match I've ever played. And like I said in the first video, it's good to find the level that you're challenged at, that you're comfortable winning, but you still feel challenged, because the winning is going to encourage you to keep playing and not give up. But the challenge forces you to use all of your units at your disposal. So you're not just winning with, castle age units or without getting all the upgrades. It's fun to play Age of Empires where you're constantly being attacked and you actually get to use the weapons at your disposal. Because then you're actually playing the game as it's supposed to be played, and you're experiencing all the things in the game. I don't think I've really achieved that level yet. I think it's still too easy for me. But what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going through all the factions and playing them at this level. And then when I'm done playing all of the factions at this level and I'm comfortable winning at this level, then I'm going to increase to the next one. So I'll play 3 hard AIs, or a hardest AI on an open map, or something like that. One thing that I'm really practicing in these games is my control groups. So I keep my town center in control group 4, and then my military units in 1, 2, and 3. And then my first production unit I keep in 5, and my second production unit in 6, and third and 7, etc. And then while I'm playing, I'm just going 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, looking through all my production buildings just to make sure that they're producing units the entire time. Or at least when it's necessary to do so. So I should have built more granaries because I didn't realize, but you can build 3 granaries. So it's probably best to build all of them. And then also the pagodas. I didn't even build one pagoda this match. And the pagodas just produce resources when you put relics inside them. So it's a great way to make use of the mapped relics. And there you go. Match is over. Sacred side victory as usual. Let's just take a look at the stats, because I think this game was a little bit more contested than the previous game. Yeah, you can see the red team actually got a population lead a couple times. Just a small lead over there and then a much larger lead here. And this must have been the moment in the match where I hit them with the nest of bees and they just lost that entire army. It was like 2 or 3 armies in a row, and then they dropped their population. So that just goes to show that the population and the prosperity of your civ is not really important as the second to second strategies and angles and just all the factors that influence the battles. Those matter so much more. And the positions of your walls, the positions of your defensive structures, how you're moving your units around, and all the micro and stuff like that. I could have just said micro. So much easier just to say micro. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more action, and stay tuned for more. Class dismissed.